Hello friends, welcome to the class. I am Dr. Sonali Mora, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Chhatrapati Sahuji Maharaj University, Kanpur. In today's lecture, I am going to teach behavior and body language, particularly focusing on what is body language, what is the significance of body language in our day-to-day communication, what are the various dimensions of body language, and how does body speak, and how we can read body language, and how we can make body language receiver friendly. Let's begin with the class. Body language or kinesics is the most widely used communication medium, yet we seem to attach so little importance to it, largely because most of the messages that are sent by our bodies are involuntary. The movements of different body parts convey body language. Body language is a type of nonverbal communication in which physical behavior used to express information instead of words. It involves facial expressions, body posture, gestures, eye movements, and touch and personal spaces that we called proxemics. Much of body language happens automatically and without conscious and awareness. That's why this entire process of body language is majorly involuntary. Together, these signals form a silent language known as body language. And during communication, not all values, beliefs, thoughts and intentions are expressed verbally. Many are conveyed non-verbally as well. So through conscious and unconscious movements, the human body communicates feelings and intentions. Body language is an unstructured, ungrammatical and broadly interpreted form of communication. It differs from sign language. People are generally confused between the difference between sign language and body language, which are two languages with complex grammar structure. The study of body language is known as kinesics as well. It is also known as passive medium of communication, since most of the time it is an involuntary process. So that's why it is also known as passive medium, since sometimes we don't intend to communicate. Now, how does the body speak? The human body communicates through conscious and unconscious movements, and our human body speaks through the conscious and unconscious movements and postures. The body movements are often determined by internal psychological stimuli like emotions, feelings, etc. Emotions like anger, restlessness, joy, sadness or rejection find best expression more by body language than by its verbal counterpart. It also uses hand gestures, facial expressions, eye movements and touch to convey messages. Each physical movement can be understood as a separate word of body language. These movements carry meanings and help express feelings, thoughts and emotions and intentions. However, these interpretations may vary depending on the communication context and the observer. Coming to this slide, why is body language important? It is just because body language is one of the major contributor in the whole process of communication. Body language alone comprises of 55% of total communication, whereas spoken words comprise of 7% and tone of voice comprise 38%, which is also known as paralanguage. Dimensions of body language. Body language is usually grouped along two lines: parts of the body and intent. Parts of the body include the head, facial expressions, eyebrows, eyes, nose, lips, tongue. Body parts include the head, head movements and placement of the head back to front, left to right, side to side, including the shaking of hair, and also the facial expressions. The face has many muscles that move several areas of the face. Each combination of the movement of the following face elements communicate a state of mind. For example, if we see the eyebrows, eyebrows expression of up and down and frowning, and eyes movement, left, right, up, down, blinking, and eye dilation, and nose, like nose movement, wrinkle at the top or flaring of the nostril, and lips, smiling, snarling, puckered, kissing, opened, closed, tight, and tongue in, out, rolled, tip up or down, licking of the lips. Jaw, whether they are opened, closed, clenched, lower jaw, left or right. And in case of body posture, the way you place your body and arms and legs in relation to each other and in relation to other people. Body proximity, that is known as physical proximity between the speaker and listener, also plays a very, very vital role, and how far or close to other people. The shoulder movements up and down, hanging, hunching, and arm placement, especially up, down, whether it is up, down, crossed or straight. Leg and feet placement, straight, crossed, or weight placement. And feet towards a speaking partner or pointing elsewhere, dangling of the shoes, and hand and finger gestures. How can you hold and move your hands? And fingers are particularly insightful in reading people. Hand and finger gestures, how you hold and to move your hands and fingers are particularly insightful in reading people. Handling and placement of objects, example like pen, papers, though the odd one out, technically not a body part, but objects do play a vital role in reading body language. Now I'll be talking about the body language of gesture. Gestures are movements made by body parts and may be voluntary or involuntary. Gestures can be used to convey various messages about what someone is thinking or feeling, and gestures can even be used to produce language, such as sign language. So for examples, we can see the examples of gestures, waving of hand to indicate goodbye, or draw the attention of person. The second example we can see, shaking hands, display the friendship, or pointing index finger indicates allegation or charge, and thumbs up sign indicates wishing good luck. The body language of posture, which means an attitude or position of body. Each movement of body has expressive and defensive function. The way in which we sit or stand, walk in, walk out, tells a lot about us. A good posture indicates confident attitude. For example, you can see here 3 images in this illustration. One which displays a poor posture, forward head and flat back. This indicates poor posture. And the middle one, good posture, it has balanced upright posture. And poor posture, again the third image you can see, forward head, survey back, and rounded shoulder, weak abdominal muscles. Next one is the facial expression. Facial expression is also one of the very, very important component of the body language. All facial organs on human face indicate facially expressive message. These are hair, forehead, eyebrows, eyes, mouth, chin, nose, lips, ears, teeth, tongue, etc. And facial expressions come naturally, hence it is beyond the control of the speaker. So now here you can see in this image, the first one is here this facial expression, which is entirely neutral, that you can see here. The next one is the second image, that is a smiling face, that is it indicates happiness. The third one is disgust, it is showing a disgust. And the next facial expression that shows surprise. And in the next image that you can see the angry face. Then the next face is showing fear, and the last one is showing sadness. Some more examples of facial expression. Here you can see I smile expresses friendliness and expression, that is very much visible here. And a raised eyebrows convey surprise, which is again very, very visible here. Another example you can take, that is furrow forehead expresses worries and anxiety, that you can see here in this image. And the next one is frown shows dislike or suspicion, that again you can see in this image. Again, another very, very important component of the body language, dress and appearance. The kind of dress we use, the way in which we groom ourselves, shows our status and attitude. And I hope this image makes it very, very clear. We get influenced how others look and clothes they wear. Physical attractiveness plays an important role in our assessment of people when we see people for the first time. Person dress and physical appearance, their outfit, conveys great deal of information about them. Eye and eye contact again is one of the very, very important part or the component of body language. Eye contact is the most expressive part of the face are the eyes. The eyes are not only receive signals but also provide an important focus for face-to-face communication. For example, the absence of eye contact, it shows lack of interest and also the understanding. We look faster than listen or talk. Proper eye contact is required when two people interact in sight of each other. The speaker must look in the eyes of audience from left to right, from right to left, and this will build up the confidence and eliminate the nervousness. It also built the rapport, the relationship between the speaker and the listener. The next one is silence. Silence is also the part of body language. This is perhaps a very passive, non-verbal medium of communication, but it can become an effective tool of communication. When a person becomes silent, that in itself sends a message, usually silence. Silence communicates mental status. For example, and also giving utterance to mental state is not only difficult, but at times even undesirable. Sometimes we don't want to say anything, we don't want to express anything. That's why sometimes it is also true, speech is silver, but the silence is golden. And it also establishes the relationship between the communicators, the speaker and the receiver. Some more examples we can see here, examples of body language. For example, you can see this image, arms crossed in front of the chest. This is one of the body language examples that indicates that one is being defensive. Here the body language meaning of crossed arms may also show the disagreement with opinions and actions of other people with whom you are communicating. It means body language says too much than the verbal language. For example, this image, biting of nails. Nail biting demonstrates nervousness stress and insecurity, and many people bite nails without realizing they have the habit. But this is also, again, it has meaning to convey to our receiver. Hand on cheek. You can see this image. This body language example indicates that one is lost in thought, maybe considering something, maybe thinking something. Hand on cheek. This body language example indicates that one is lost in thought, maybe considering something, maybe thinking something. When your hand is on cheek and your brows are furrowed, you may be in deep concentration, right? Next example of body language is finger tapping or drumming. For example, you can see here. The next example is finger tapping or drumming. So this action demonstrates that one is growing tired or impatient while waiting, right? Touching the nose, repeatedly touching the nose or rubbing the nose signifies disbelief or rejection or lying about something, or you are hiding something. Lowered head. So this example indicates one is hiding something. When you lower your head while you are being complimented, you may be showing shyness, shame, or timidity. You may also convey that you are keeping distance from another person, showing disbelief or thinking to yourself. Haptics, which is also known as language of touch. This is again one of the components of body language. Research has also shown that people can accurately decode distinct emotions by merely watching others communicate via touch. Haptics, also known as the language of touch, and it is also again one of the very important component of the body language. Research has also shown that people can accurately decode distinct emotions by merely watching others communicate via touch. It shows how people use physical contact such as hug or a pat on the back to show emotions and establish relationship and send social cues. Heslin outlines 5 haptic categories. One is functional or professional, social, political, friendship, warmth, love, intimacy, sexual arousal. So for example, if we talk about functional professional, this expresses task oriented. Social polite, this expresses ritual interaction. Friendship, warmth, this category is about affection and closeness between friends. Love or intimacy, this expresses emotional attachment. Sexual arousals, this expresses the sexual intent. Another component of the body language is proxemics. Physical proximity between the speaker and the receiver determines the kind and quality of communication, and it has 4 zones of space. So for example, the first one is intimate distance for embracing, touching or whispering. The first one is like the close phase, that is less than 6 inches, or far phase is 6 to 18 inches. And under this category of personal distance for interactions among good friends or family members, here the distance is 1.5 to 2.5 feet and far phase is 2.5 to 4 feet. And social distance for interactions among acquaintances, and it comes from 4 to 7 feet, and far phase is 7 to 12 feet. Public distance used for public speaking, where close phase measured from 12 to 25 feet and far phase is 25 and beyond. Tone of voice. Certain body postures can significantly influence the tone of voice. The intra-abdominal pressure is a direct influence on and discernible in tone of voice. For example, pitch, intonation, speed, volume, impact, the way messages are decoded. The pitch of someone's voice can be interpreted in different ways. A high-pitched voice is associated with excitement, while a low voice is associated with seriousness. The intonation of a statement can help people determine if a claim is being made or if a question is being asked. Further, statements with a raising intonation are usually questions. Now, we will be discussing how to read body language. So, one can see here, the first one is, for example, you can see here, raised eyebrows often signal discomfort. That is very much visible here. If their voice goes up or down, they are most likely interested. It means the communication, the speaker is very much interested in conversation. If the eye contact shows interest, both positive and negative, because eye contact it indicates both the positive and negative. But if we look into your eyes for too long, they might be lying. Cross legs are usually, that you can see here, cross legs are usually a sign of resistance and low receptivity. And if they mirror your body language, the conversation is probably going well. And look for a lack of crinkles around the eyes to detect a fake smile. And if they are laughing with you, they are probably into you. And expansive authoritative positions show leadership, that you can see here, the kind of cross legs. And a shaking leg signals a shaky inner state. Inner means mental state. So, this is how we can read body language, but we have to be very, very attentive when you are in communication and when you are interacting with the other person. So, now you can see that keep your body language receiver friendly. So, now I will be talking about that how we can make our body language receiver friendly, and what are the things that indicate that your body language is non-friendly. So, for examples, if we can see here the facial expressions. So, especially if your facial expressions are smiling, relaxed mouth, alert and ready to listen, this is something very, very receiver friendly. And if your face is tight-lipped, grim smile, raised eyebrows, jaw muscled, clenched, that is non-friendly. If we talked about like pupils dilated, eyes, when pupils are dilated, good contact, wide open, then it indicates good or friendly body language. And if your eyes are looking down nose, lack of contact and narrowed, then it is non-friendly. For example, if your head is straight and mildly nodding, and then your body expression, your facial expression is entirely friendly. And if it is bowed and shaking, it is non-friendly. If your body position is erected or leaning forward and open, then it is friendly. And if it is crossed, if your body position is crossed arms, legs crossed away, cold shoulder, then it is non-friendly. If we talk about hand gestures, if your hands are open hands, touching and hand to chest, then it is entirely friendly. And if your hands or fingers are tapping fingers or closed hands, finger wagging, then it is non-friendly. Conclusion: studies and behavioral experiments have shown that facial expressions and bodily expressions are congruent in terms of conveying visible signs of a person's emotional state, and that emotions can be judged with a high level of accuracy based on facial expressions. At the same time, the brain processes another person's facial and bodily expressions simultaneously. Emotions can also be detected through body postures. Research has shown that body postures are more accurately recognized when an emotion is accompanied with a different or neutral emotion. Thank you.